Hi everyone, I'm Kody Pailin, and this is how I made Angelito with Halo.
Hey, Angelito, lift me up above her. I can't lose you now, falling out of favor.
When we first started with Angelito, I believe all we had first were just the vocals, guitar, and the horns. So this is what the intro would have sounded like.
Maybe you won't take a chance. You're playing from a losing hand.
But let's start with the vocals. So here's what they would have sounded like when I first got them from Justin. I'm completely dry, straight from the mic.
Maybe you won't take a chance.
So here's a difference, starting with the EQ. It was a little bit muddy, not too much of a problem, so I just brought out some of the highs.
Maybe you won't take a chance. You're playing from a losing hand.
I always use Studio Vocal Compressor, and then I also use the VCA limiter as well, just to make it a little louder, and make sure everything is tight.
Maybe you won't take a chance. You're playing from a losing hand.
Because we brought up those high ends, obviously you're gonna get your plosives out, so then I brought in that de-esser.
Maybe you won't take a chance.
You can hear a little bit of background noise from Justin listening to the track while he's recording vocals, so I just used a noise gate just to cut that out. And then I like to use Magma Low Tube just to add a little bit of grain to the vocal, so it's not completely just flat and clear, which could be a good thing, but I like having a little bit of grit as well.
Maybe you won't take a chance.
Now it's time for effects. So here's what it sounds like dry.
Maybe you won't take a chance. You're playing from a losing hand, baby boy.
So what I have first, I have the echo here.
Maybe you won't take a chance.
And then I have the tremolo to make it go left, right, left, right, left, right.
Maybe you won't take a chance.
Because I have a very dramatic echo going, instead of having it forward and sounding like too much, having it spread out was pretty good. And then I also played around with Valhalla.
Maybe you won't take a chance.
It gave the vocal a little bit of like a flanger guitar feel, and that's pretty much consistent for lead vocals. And what I love about working with Justin and playing with his vocals, I usually never need pitch correction, and I don't need to go into the nitty-gritty of fine-tuning anything. His vocals are great. I didn't touch anything there, just EQ, compressor, a little bit of effects with echo and reverb, and that was it.
From a losing hand, baby boy.
Even the BGVs were beautiful. This is what they sounded like dry.
Hoping on you, hoping on
Have panning left and right to make it more stereo.
you, hoping on 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 you.
Very simple, and it complements the lead vocal very well.
No, you got no reason to hide.
When I pick up Angelito with Justin, he wanted something dreamy in the intro, so strings, effects, very heavenly, very... Our reference at the time for the intro, we were both listening a lot to Kali Uchis Sincerely album, and then he brought the idea to reference something like Breeze. very beautiful before they go into the song, like a pickup before we go into the song.
One thing I learned in this life for sure.
So then I brought out these strings. I wanted to go more for the lower range. I was playing with the Logic strings. I did some panning and I wanted it to crescendo going into the song. So we have this here. Then I have some automation going here just to make sure it doesn't get too muddy going into the guitar. Then I paired it here with this. On its own, it feels very creepy and alien-like, but it does complement the strings very well with getting that ambience filled in. Almost like a riser, I guess. To smoothly go into the guitar here, I used a reverse. So I clipped the guitar, threw it into Space Designer and put it on reverse. And then I just boosted the wet all the way up so we don't have the initial pluck of the guitar. One thing about Justin that I love is his ad-libs. They're so cute and fun. So he has this little and I use it as an accent in the intro and the outro. I paired it with the triangle, almost like a wink in like movies and stuff when they edit. So this is what we have here. My favorite part of the song. So together, the intro sounds like this. For the percussion, I almost wanted to emulate a reggae sound with the snare. What I did here is I had a snare and then I used a echo for a delay and I have it at 1/16 dotted, so it sounds like this with the lasers and it's and it's a very simple drum beat throughout. So I have my kick and snare here. I have a very faint loop here of hi-hat and snare. There is a kick in there, but I completely cut the lows just to have this little sample here in the background going to complement the snare. And my main goal here with Angelito was to make it feel organic. So I wanted to use more live sounds with the drums rather than something like a drum machine or trap drums. So I try to emulate with using hi-hats that were sampled by live drums, live hi-hats. And by playing with the volume here, I was basically trying to use a bit of a technique with velocity. Different variations and it feels almost human-like. And I could have thrown it into like a drum sampler or into like a drum machine in Logic where I have the pattern going, but I'm not sure if it's just placebo. I have seen other producers use just the audio track instead of throwing it into a looper because the quality is a lot different. So for the hi-hats, this is what I have here. And it sounds a little weird at first, but then you pair it with the kick and the snare. And that's pretty much the pickup and the intro there. And throughout the song, you'll hear a lot of muffled vocals from Justin that I used almost similar to a guitar. So what I wanted to do was almost Steve Lacy the vocal, make it sound like an HSS guitar, making it almost telephone-like at first. And because it's EQ'd in that way, I had to make it a little louder with the compressors. And purposefully, I had it a little blown out. Then I throw that flanger on there to get that guitar feel. And then I have my delays going on here. Goes great with lead vocals.
Take a chance, you're playing for
Like one of my favorite Easter eggs, and I do that consistently with the song. Because it sounds like wow, 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 wow. That's a very key part of the production in this song.
the better intended that you love her.
So from verse 1 down to the chorus, we have that consistent drum pattern going through. I have these drum breaks fill in the space to transition between verse, pre-chorus, and chorus. And again, with those organic sounds.
Mi Angelito, lift me up above her.
When I got the demo from Justin, it did have the horns as well. So I did some layers, did some panning, and I also wanted to offset it so again, it sounded very human-like. For each individual track, I would push it over so some layers would play early, it wouldn't be exactly on beat, it would be just right off of the grid. It doesn't sound too perfect, too tight, where you can tell that it's electronic. To make it sound not too clean, I like using Logic's Chroma Glow. So for this preset here on the master bus, I was using the Sizzle preset here. So you can hear almost like a bit crusher sound, a little bit of fuzziness in that background there. Very faint, and it gives it similar to a lo-fi feel.
Mi Angelito, lift me up above her.
And Justin had this freaking amazing electric guitar one shot here that he used. I didn't touch it at all. It was perfect. For the bass, in the pretty much the first half of the song, I wanted to use a live bass. So I threw in a one-shot sample, threw it into Q Sampler, and just played with it as a MIDI there. Played around with the velocity again so it feels human-like and it's not just one hit. We do have those background vocals here, and they're great on their own, but I wanted an instrument to complement it. I paired it with xylophones so it becomes a little bit more catchy and it brings the background vocal out more. Just following the melody. Also have xylophones again, but it's pairing with the bass line. And then the post-chorus, it strips all of the horns, the bass line, it's right back to just the drums, the vocals in the background. At first, when we were building verse 2 again, we didn't want it to be too cookie cutter, where again it was just the vocals and the guitar like the first verse. We weren't sure if we wanted an entire beat change, but I wanted the song to stay pretty consistent and flow well. But what I got from it here, I was using pads, and I also used the Mellotron to get that vintage flute going on in the background.
Baby boy, gotta
Paired it with this pad here. It makes it more more dreamy in this section.
Down low by the bay.
And I have the pianos going to pair with the pad. I have the piano, but I detuned it a little bit. Then we have the E bass come back. Then my favorite part, I freaking love this bridge. At first we weren't gonna have a bridge, but we needed a section to break it up. And you don't hear bridges often, which is a conversation I love having. To introduce that we're changing a section similar from the pickup to the intro with the reverse guitar, I brought it right back because we have a new guitar melody coming in. Justin on the guitar through this whole song, freaking beautiful. The bridge is more dreamy, and I'm starting to bring out a more, not necessarily electronic, but more of 808 sound, leaving that organic sound a little bit more.
Nothing to say now that you're leaving me for good.
I have this ocean ambiance going on in the background. It fits the vibe all over. If you haven't watched the music video, I think it hits the nail on the head for the vibe. And then birds too.
Nothing.
I have this one note going through. This glitter pad. So you can tell I'm going more for that electronic, a little more mysterious and eerie with everything. And then I isolated his background vocals here. And then I have some gate automation going here. Again, these ad-libs, I love them.
You're leaving me for good. For
Brought those trumpets back. So then we're prepared to go into the chorus with those trumpets again. And then to lead into the last half of the track, I brought in an 808 bass instead of using the live bass to make it feel more full. So we wanted a little more energy. So for this part, I was bringing more drum machine sounds, this time a harder hitting kick and snare, as well as bringing that 808 through.
head in the clouds, you might have found your way. Till the weight of it all has you crashing down again. Angelito, lift me up above.
Have the flutes coming back. A lot of melodies coming in here. Yes, and this part. So I brought up my phone. I laid it down on my desk and I would just tap in on my lap. And I panned it left and right to act as another hi-hat. It felt very, very patty cake to make the song feel more light and more catchy compared to the drum that we have throughout the first half. I have a more punchy kick here. We already had this snare here. I just layered it with this snare. More clacky, almost like a rim shot. It brings out a little bit more energy, a different sound here on the end of the song.
Lift me up above.
New drum pattern, doom, doom, doom.
Falling out.
And then I brought out some hey ho. Not too much energy, just filling up some space that we had on the first half of the song.
Lift me up above her. I can't lose you now. Falling out of favor.
after chorus 3, we have a slightly different guitar sound, just to differentiate the parts. Again, that one note there. Just to let you know the song's it's coming down, it's coming down.
Baby, ain't no way she's that better. That better, that better. So pretending that you love her.
And then we'll have the 808.
Baby, ain't no way she's that better. You're paying to pretending that you love her.
Just have me coming down. Just the hi-hats, just the snares. Then I got that motion going. Again, those muffled ad-libs, and then I did like a wooka 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 to tie up the ad-lib. And the song just rides out with the water. And that's Angelito. It was so fun to make. Freaking love this song. Working with Justin is just, it's a blessing and it's so fun. Yeah, I'm really excited for this new era following Angelito. When Justin brought this song to me, I knew I was gonna have so much fun. I knew this was gonna be a hit. Just everything about Angelito and the demo itself is just very dreamy, and I think it could have still done really well on just its own without my production. But as the producer, I feel like this is my little baby that I'm so proud of as well. So I'm so happy it's out in the world. This is very relaxing to listen to. It's very relaxing to make. It was a great process. That's how I made Angelito with Justin, aka Halo. Go stream it. Now I have those production credits on there. I'm so happy. I'm so proud. And watch the music video if you haven't already. Thank you, Halo, for having me on this. I'm so happy.
Till the weight of it all has you crashing down again. Angelito.